This is the latest update on the ICE incident in Minneapolis. Officers shot and killed a woman during a federal immigration operation in Minneapolis. Some witnesses claim that the woman attempted to drive her car towards them. But is that really the case? The footage shows that the car had not yet started when the gun was already drawn. In Minneapolis, at the scene of a fatal ICE-involved shooting, some protesters were seen throwing snowballs at law enforcement officers as dozens of demonstrators marched the streets. While protesters gathered in solidarity for justice, some expressed their anger and frustration with the handling of the case by throwing snowballs at law enforcement. After the incident, both law enforcement and protesters faced public scrutiny, with the community demanding answers. This is not just about the death of an innocent woman. It's a deep reflection on the legitimacy of law enforcement, transparency, and public trust. In federal immigration enforcement actions, how do we balance public safety with the use of law enforcement power? The investigation into the case is still ongoing, with both the public and media closely watching the revelation of the truth.
Have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they?
I go check a pulse. No, back up now.
I'm a physician.
I don't listen, care. I understand. We got EMS coming. I get it.
How do you show up to work every day?
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a very serious and heartbreaking incident that happened in Minneapolis, where a woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent during a federal operation. This story has sparked outrage, protest, and a national debate about immigration enforcement, police use of force, and accountability. I want to walk you through what we know so far, what different sides are saying, and why this incident matters.
No!
It took a matter of seconds for a ICE confrontation with an activist to escalate into a deadly shooting.
Dude, you shot her!
NBC News reporting 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good was a woman shot Wednesday by one of the agents on scene of an immigration operation in Minneapolis after she allegedly blocked a street with her SUV.
We collectively are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice.
Local and state officials denouncing the shooting and the presence of ICE in Minnesota.
What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust.
While the Department of Homeland Security defended the actions of its agents, saying Good weaponized her vehicle.
It was an act of domestic terrorism, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
What do we do?
This fatal shooting has sparked protests from Minneapolis to Boston, with rally-goers here vowing to continue their community activism.
It's our job to stand against this and say, no, we don't stand for this.
Pro-immigrant groups worried violence would eventually spill over like this.
We have feared that without appropriate checks and constraints on the agency, that there have been more violent incidents.
Mirror Coalition's Elizabeth Sweet is aware of the risks.
Sometimes need to think about, where are appropriate places to be speaking up and protesting and ensuring that we are following all the rules.
This is an awful tragedy, a situation that, probably could have and should have been avoided.
Retired Newton Police Chief John Carmichael cautions people not to jump to conclusions while investigators look into the use of force, officer training, and imminent threat.
We have to allow law enforcement to do their job. And again, if we don't like that, society doesn't like that, then we take the correct avenues to change that.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said that the ICE officer who shot Good was hit by Good's car. He was treated and released from the hospital, she said. Now, here at home, Governor Maura Healey described ICE's tactics as, quote, dangerous, while Boston Mayor Michelle Wu called for an end to, quote, mass deployment of ICE agents into American cities and to restore the rule of law and basic accountability from the federal government. We're also expecting additional anti-ICE rallies to take place tomorrow here in the Bay State. Reporting live in Boston, Oscar Margain, NBC 10 Boston.
Oscar. They don't want nobody to know that she's white. They don't want nobody to know that she's white. Renee Nicole Good, the 37-year-old woman that ICE agent blew her face off in broad daylight after she had just dropped off her 6-year-old child, her 6-year-old boy, to school, is white, and they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that because it's going to fuck with their narrative. A ICE agent took his firearm, aimed it into the car of a white woman and blew her face off. Blew her face off. But everywhere that you read, all the media that's reporting it, they keep saying 37-year-old woman, 37-year-old woman. They refuse to say her name. They refuse to show her picture because they don't want you to know that she's white. They don't want you to know that she's white. ICE murdered a white woman, blonde, blue-eyed white woman, shot her in the face 3 times. They don't want you to know that. And they are purposely not letting you know that it's a white woman whose face they blew off because they don't want you to switch sides. They do not want you to switch sides. They don't want you to work collectively with the oppressed after realizing you too are being oppressed. They don't want you to switch sides. That's why they're not letting you know that it was a white woman. It's a white woman. A white woman. I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over and over and over. It's a white woman, blonde hair, blue eyes. They blew her face off. And the government is currently trying to justify it. The government is currently trying to justify it. They're lying to your face because we all seen the videos. This man is walking around free after taking his firearm and aiming it into the car of a civilian, unarmed civilian, and blew her face off. And it's one of your very own. She had also lost her husband. So now her children are parentless. Where is all the pro-life extreme right? Where are you guys? Where are you? Huh? Now that you know it was a white woman that they murdered, not a criminal, not a migrant, not a black person, a white American woman got her face blown off with the help of your tax-paying dollars.
The incident occurred in early January during a federal immigration enforcement operation in South Minneapolis. ICE agents approached a vehicle during the operation. At some point, the situation escalated and an ICE agent fired shots at the vehicle. The woman inside the car was hit and later died from the injuries. Authorities later identified the woman as Renee Good, and reports indicate that she was not the target of the immigration operation. Some sources also state that she was a U.S. citizen. Federal authorities say the agent acted in self-defense. They claim the vehicle was used in a way that put the agents' lives in danger, and that the shooting was a response to an immediate threat. However, local officials, witnesses, and community leaders have challenged that version of events. The mayor of Minneapolis and others say that the available video footage does not clearly support the claim that the woman was trying to harm the agents. This disagreement over what actually happened is at the center of the controversy. Following the shooting, protests erupted in Minneapolis. Many residents are questioning why heavily armed federal agents were operating in residential neighborhoods and whether deadly force was necessary. Was it really? Civil rights groups and the victim's family are calling for transparency and accountability, while federal officials insist the agent followed protocol. This is still a developing story, and more details may come out as investigations continue. I encourage everyone to stay informed, think critically, and approach discussions like this with empathy. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and comment. Thank you for watching, and kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Till the next one, bye.